After a year of rumors, casting announcements, production announcements, teasers and posters and teasers for posters and posters and teasers, we finally got the payoff when it comes to James Gunn's brand new Superman film. And well, we'll get into it because I've got a lot of things to say about this. A lot of which, even though we're like a day after the teaser trailer dropped, and likely, if you're watching anybody else's coverage, they've probably said things that I'm also going to say as well, but there's also something that I haven't really heard talked about all that much. One aspect of this, and we'll get into it shortly. But this entire week has really just been set up to culminate with Thursday's teaser trailer reveal, because at the beginning of the week, yes, we got the news that James Gunn's Superman reboot reveals a poster and a reworked version of the John Williams classic Superman score, and well, the announcement for the teaser drop on Tuesday, and then it was a big thing, right? Like, it's been a marketing success. And well, like I said, the poster came out on Monday, and honestly, it's a pretty decent looking poster, all things considered. Definitely different than Snyder's take on the Murder Man. The fist in the ground, this one right here, diametrically opposed to it. Look up. Very simple poster, but you can also see what Superman is looking up towards. Yes, it's very much there. As minimalistic of an approach as this poster is, what's definitely on there. A James Gunn film, which has been front and center with all of this marketing. And well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but this right here, okay, in some variation, and chances are, as easy as it is to disseminate a picture or even a moving poster like this, because this is pretty cool, right? Like, you got the, I guess, in motion poster, however the hell you want to refer to it as, because I'm old enough to remember when you would get those faux 3D pictures in like a magazine or a book cover or something like that, where if you move it, it looks like it's moving, and you move it side to side, and then it starts to change a little bit. But this right here, I guess, is the next logical step. And yeah, just seeing it sort of in motion, it looks pretty cool. Okay, and just the official announcement of it on the Warner Brothers Picture Twitter account has 1.5 million views. Obviously, all of the sharing that goes on, and this probably isn't even the biggest page to first share this out. So yeah, and that poster right there, and the announcement that you're gonna get a poster, or I'm sorry, you're gonna get a trailer a little bit later, it's kind of played into the genius marketing, honestly, all things considered, because when the trailer dropped, and because Warner Brothers is big gay when it comes to showing trailers, I can't show you, but honestly, at this point in time, 19.6, probably 20 million people. I'm going to go ahead and refresh on this. Well, we'll do that at the end, because I've got my favorite of the collection of scenes that we got for this teaser trailer, because honestly, when I hear people talk about this, it's just all around, I either like or dislike David Cornsweat. I either like some aspects of his costume or I don't, and oh, look at that, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner looks really weird. It's like, you're not really talking about the actual trailer, but there's not really much to say, to be completely honest, because it is just a bunch of disjointed scenes that are just slapped together. And the only big takeaway that you can get from this is, yeah, it's colorful. Okay, definitely. Over the past decade, we've been devoid of DC superheroes with actual vibrance outside of Aquaman, but that takes everything to a different extreme. I digress. When it comes to the central DC characters, the Trinity, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, of course, yeah, this is definitely, it's a return to form. But the trailer itself, I mean, it's got a pretty good ratio. It's, just those numbers are, I guess, maybe a little bit low, given the fact that, yeah, there's not even 1 million interactions on something that has been seen 19 million times just on the DC account, okay? Because you go over to James Gunn official Twitter account, okay, and it's been seen over there 13.8 million times. And yeah, I like the fact that Superman is spending time with Pa Kent, not spending time with him discussing whether or not he should be saving a bus full of children or waving him off from saving him from a tornado. God, Zack Snyder is such a goddamn hack. But there's going to be detractors from this, okay? But all things considered, I thought it was a fine trailer, okay? And especially with other trailers that have come out recently that have absolutely knocked it out the park for their film. Like, I'm not a fan of horror, okay? I'm not even a fan of zombies at all whatsoever. I was totally checked out on that entire trend and entertainment. Didn't like any of the movies that were coming out. Didn't like any of the video games that were coming out. Yeah, I'm one of the guys that, you know, seen Left 4 Dead, played like a half dozen games with my friends, and it was like, I was good on that. Like, the zombies on Call of Duty never did much for me, but the 28 days, weeks, and years later, it's like, years later, when it eventually does come out, it was never going to do anything for me. But that trailer is one of the best trailers you're likely to ever see, and of course, can't show you because, you know, copyright. The only one who's actually good about copyright is Disney, of all things considered, but I digress. That is a banger trailer right there. And it is also a collection of scenes, but it paints a very clear picture. When it comes to the Superman trailer, okay, like, yeah, it's a bunch of different things, and the only clear through line, okay, is that Krypto's there. I like the little dog. I like the little super dog, but I'm going to be completely honest. I know a little bit about Superman. I didn't know he had a super dog. Mostly because whenever he's depicted in comics, he's normally a Labrador, but James Gunn, I guess, did this one weird thing where he would go ahead and whitewash a character for the first time in a long time, but I digress. I think the trailer is fine. I'll just be interested to see in the beginning of the year, like around Super Bowl time, when we get like a proper trailer to give us some glimpses into what exactly the plot is going to be. Like, Lex Luthor's in it, okay, Hawkman's in it. Hawkgirl is supposed to be in a Supergirl. Supposed to be around. She was cast. She was on the set. There's a lot of characters there, okay? But apparently, or rather according to James Gunn, earlier this week, because there was another interview that he gave to Variety, and we'll go over that very shortly. Yeah, starts in the middle of the action. The Superman film starts in the middle of the action. Lois and Clark know each other. Obviously, we've seen that in the teaser trailer. Lex Luthor already hates Superman. Yeah, and he's right there, and, you know, everybody's already memeing on him, looking like, you know, Agent 47. Oh, he's Hitman. And it's like, oh my God, you people need to do just a little bit of grass touching right now, because there's more to life than just referencing other things. But flying action is shot with drones and is inspired by Top Gun Maverick, not aiming to set up other projects. Fuck it, which is kind of interesting, you know, given how many characters are just in the teaser trailer. We're not trying to set up anything, even though, you know, when I made the announcement that we're going to be doing a Superman film, you know, it was supposed to be the first official film to kick off the rebooted DCU. Yeah, of course, it's not aiming to set everything up, so that's why I think that verbiage is very interesting. Mr. Terrific has a big role in the film. Yeah, but we're not aiming to set anything up, you know, just other characters. David Cornsweet, yes, influenced the decision to wear trunks. Superman wants kids to not be afraid of him. He's an alien with incredible powers, yes, but if we're going to be returning and going back to basics, Superman is American in every single way that it matters. And by encompassing that aspect, I think that's what people are most excited about this, okay? They're more excited about what this could potentially mean as opposed to what we have right now. Because to be completely honest, yeah, like this entire year, there's been a lot of Superman-related information. And it's mostly just been filtered through James Gunn, as I alluded to earlier, because honestly, the man himself has done a tremendous amount when it comes to marketing this film, okay? All props to him, because he turned poster reveal and a teaser trailer reveal into high-profile events. I mean, just look at how popular this stuff is, okay? Go ahead and, you know, refresh this page from the time that I brought it up. It's probably over 20, yeah, it's getting close, 19.669 nice million people, and by the time that you see this in #1 on trending, yeah, chances are it's going to have it'll definitely have 20 million views by the time that you see this. 14, you know, just about 14 million on James Gunn's Twitter feed, okay, if not, yeah, 14.2, okay, and, you know, we all know that views are a little easier to ascertain over on Twitter, but it obviously puts to rest any sort of aspersions that, oh, I don't know, do you think a Superman can work, because it hasn't really worked, and the last time that we got like a proper Superman film, well, a proper Superman film would have been Man of Steel, but I guess where Superman is the main character, Batman versus Superman. That was what, 2014 or something like that? Like, it's been a long time. And the last time that we had a good Superman film, like Christopher Reeves could still walk. But it's not like people haven't been giving Superman a chance, okay? One trailer, speaking of trailers that is really stuck in my mind, it's always going to be Superman Returns. Like, that's one of the most iconic, great trailers of all time. Like, there's one shot that is just perpetually going to live rent-free in my head. And if you know, or if you remember anything from the mid-2000s, you remember that bullet hitting Superman directly in the eye, folding and dropping to the ground as Brendan Ruth looks back at one of Lex Luthor's hitmen and just smiles. That is classic. It's better than the entirety of that boring-ass film. But people want to give Superman a chance, and especially at this point in time, I mean, as we've just been inundated with the Superman archetype over and over and over again, but it's always got this new and unique twist. Oh wow, what if Superman was evil? But I think at this point everybody's sick of that, and they just want some good old-fashioned Americana. Okay, I'm Canadian, but I can resonate with the man whose motto is truth, justice, and the American way. I despise all of this subversionist crap. We don't need any more nihilistic takes on shit. We just want a true blue, honest, sincere film. Something that has been desperately lacking for a very long time. And because it has been lacking for so long, and because James Gunn is a noted liar, I'm kind of wondering if all of this promotion, all of this marketing will ultimately be for naught. Because I see all of this stuff and I'm wondering, it's like, does this film make $700 $800 million on the back of a $330 million budget, or does it make over $1 billion? I mean, look at all of the interaction normally, and as goodwill as it is, okay, that's a damn good ratio. You can see probably, I would say, of those 57,000 downvotes, 55,000 of those are probably Snyder heads. I should probably, just dial that back a little bit because they're not smart enough to create YouTube accounts and go in and actually leave a comment. I've heard people say that this is a film that's ultimately going to decide the fate of Hollywood, okay? Because there's a lot of people bigging this up. I just also think Hollywood's done way too much damage to themselves, and ultimately, yeah, this film might do good. I legitimately don't know. Like, I could definitively be wrong when it came to, Deadpool and Wolverine by saying, I don't think it cracks $1 billion, and oopsie daisy, your boy was a bit wrong on that one. That's fine. I'm perplexed. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this makes, I think, like, the floor is obviously $500 million. I think it's going to make more than that, for sure, 100%. But I could see this, yeah, like I said earlier, between $700, $800 million, or it could blow past $1 billion. I don't know. I legitimately don't know how this is going to perform. I just don't think it's going to matter. Because you have James Gunn, like it was pulled up with that Collider interview that these snippets were taken out of. We're not trying to set up any other projects or anything like that, but also a bloodied, Superman, or a bloodied Man of Steel with Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, a bunch of other references. It's like there's going to be so much shit in this 2.5 hour film, 2 hour 40-minute film. Don't know exactly how long it is, but holy shit, man! If you're not aiming to set up anything else, then why in the blue hell are you bringing everybody in? Why can't you just simply tell a Superman story? We're embracing all the mythology, says James Gunn. Home, take me home. Yes, the only dialogue in that 2 minutes is just simply home, take me home. Which, I guess, right? Like, if you want to do the whole, break down all the meaning behind all the shots in this trailer, you got, Superman right there at the beginning of the trailer, beaten and bloodied, and then eventually, he calls on Krypto to bring him home. He's saving a girl. You got the John Williams score in the background. You got the people who want the Superman, they don't want the Superman. You got the Lois, and you got the kissing, you got the fighting, you got the Superman going away, and then in July 11th, make sure you buy your tickets to go see the James Gunn show, because this is all about James Gunn, and that's what I'm not a big fan of. You have arguably, if not the second most famous superhero of all time, I would put him at number one. I still think, even as poorly as he has been treated over the past decade and change, they're called superheroes for a reason, and it's because of Superman himself. Number two is Batman, which is it's so crazy how DC has just, flubbed every opportunity, but that's what you get when you give to somebody who's a perpetual crayon eater to run your universe. But every time that we've heard something about Superman this year, it has simply all just been about James Gunn. I'm writing this story. We're writing this script because I had a really close connection with my father. And if you would just go ahead and just simply rearrange a couple of the aspects of the messaging, or the messages rather, that James Gunn has sent out about this production, if you just simply switched my relationship with a couple of other activist statements that would be out there, you would just be finding them as cringe as you do with every other box checking activists subverting their way into the industry in order to tell their story. There was always going to be a caveat. There was always going to be reservations, because I brought up the boys example a little bit earlier. Well, whoopsie daisy, I guess you get to see some of what I'm going to be talking about later. But you get the boys example right here, right? And this is more in line with what James Gunn tends to write. And the fact that in the trailer itself, he makes sure to put his name first, and then right after that, director of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. It's like everybody's kind of worried that that's how Superman's gonna get written, like a Guardians of the Galaxy team up goofy. We're not taking this stuff all that seriously. How many jokes are there gonna be about Superman wearing his underwear on the outside of his suit? Like, if he could just be less James Gunn and more of a Superman writer, there's a potential for this film to be great. But who knows, man? There's nothing we can really glean from this trailer other than, well, some of the cinematography looks fine, I guess, and it's especially good when you consider it's the guy who shot The Flash. Oh shit. Just, I don't know, man. I really don't know. So Gunn explained in a Q&A following the press preview on the Warner Brothers launch that the teaser is meant to demonstrate that Superman lives in a world with superheroes. Superhero movies have taken these characters and said, okay, it's Batman or it's Superman, and it's not any of the other stuff. We're embracing all of the Superman mythology. He has friends who are other superheroes. He has people who he doesn't get along with. Oh, doesn't get along as well with who are other superheroes. He has a lot of things that we love from Superman comics that we haven't been able to see as much in filmed media, and definitely when it's able to see in a grounded way, which is what I hope we've created. Gunn says the DC Universe shares as many elements as Game of Thrones as it does with Marvel Universe. Oh Christ, I didn't actually know about that. And yeah, that confirms something else. What he wants it to feel like a fully lived-in world that just happens to include fantastical elements. And yeah, another reason why there is a bit of a caveat to an endorsement on this, it's that the DCU, well, in earnest, kind of kicked off earlier this month with Creature Commandos. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that was out there. Yeah, and if you have heard anything about it, you've heard that it's either not very good or the dialogue is bullshit. So in trying to ground Superman, bring him back to what he was, we're supposed to see the other stuff that is involved in this universe, and accept the lead-off villains are a band of incels. It's like, oh bro, what are we in for? But once again, I really hope this is good, man. I just don't know if it's good, if it's going to mean all that much, and ultimately what this means for just film moving forward. But time indeed will tell. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.